Okay, we doing this? Yes. Hello everyone, this is Deston Gaming, and today we're going to be looking at some more brain rot. So I uploaded a video about the most disgusting couple on YouTube, but that one became like copyright, and only some countries can see it. So, this is something I wanted to do for a while. Top 10 videos on carnivorous plants, because these are often absolutely horrible, and just really you know how bad paleontology videos make them seem make dinosaurs seem monstrous. These ones make these plants seem monstrous when these carnivorous plants are actually harmless. They cannot hurt you. Dinosaurs, yes, dinosaurs could have hurt people if they were around the same time, but carnivorous plants are literally harmless. So, yeah. Okay, this one is like fake. It's like a statue or something. Okay, yep, that's a real picture. That's an iguana. Yep. Why would you do this?
Hey,
Why would you feed your hamster? I don't think that's good for your hamster's coat. I know the hamsters, I know it's their pet hamster, and they let it out, but, that's probably not good for your hamster's coat. Anyways, I'm getting off topic. Here's top 10s. The one on the right seems real. The one on the left is fake. Oh god, the finest. How about we go... I want to go with something which... Is that AI? Are those, those are both... Oh, God, Americano. Let's go Americano. Americano is some of the worst videos. So, both of those are Photoshopped. Is, the left one, AI generated or something? Both of those are Photoshopped. Yeah, both are Photoshopped. Let's see how bad this rancid garbage is. So, the title is... Putting those things, so these plants are harmless, but let's see if they use their photoshopping to make it worse. And yes, this is inspired by Harris commentary. So we're starting off with some music and carnivorous plant time lapse. Pretty cool. And then starts the movie. Okay, that's not a good start. I was going to say it had a good start, but then it pulls out some random movie clip. Music's pretty cool, though.
Mother Nature is incredible, and sometimes
Is
quite
it a different
surprising.
narrator from the Americano Paleo narrator?
Especially when it comes to plants, and more specifically, carnivorous plants. These are the types of plants you don't want to mess with.
You can mess with them
That's
without
right.
any harm. They are harmless to people.
They're often deadly. But what exactly are the most dangerous carnivorous
To humans,
plants?
none. To insects, a lot.
And how do they feed? From the impressive tropical pitcher plant to the great Venus flytrap. Here are the 20
teeth on a Venus flytrap might look kind of scary, but they're actually really soft. They can't hurt you.
most dangerous carnivorous plants.
A rose bush is more dangerous than any carnivorous plant in existence. Here you go, Americano movie.
Number 20, tropical pitcher
Okay,
plant.
so if we are going off how dangerous these are to small animals, these should be a lot higher. If we're talking about how dangerous they are to other animals, not humans, these should be a lot higher because these can eat like rats and birds. These should be a lot higher. But okay.
Nepenthes. Nepenthes, also known as tropical pitcher plants, are carnivorous plants found in tropical rainforests that are usually located in Southeast Asia, Madagascar, India, and New Caledonia. Unlike other carnivorous plants, they are climbing plants and do not grow in swampy soils. These plants love humid tropical climates. They feed on insects and sometimes bigger animals.
This is why they should be higher up on the list. Also, I don't know why you're showing parakeets or parrots. I don't think they eat parrots. They eat other birds. I could be wrong, but the rat makes sense.
Like birds. These are trapped in their urn-shaped leaves that are filled with a liquid in which the captured
I know
prey
they said they don't live in
drowns
swamps. I think that might vary from species to species, but I could be wrong.
eventually gets digested by the plant. Guess some plants aren't vegan. Around 100 species of Nepenthes have already been recorded.
Carnivorous plants may eat plant matter if it falls into their traps, but they specialize in eating meat.
They
So you
grow
could call them
attached to the branch
omnivorous, technically. But no, they're not vegan. They're carnivorous. But they will eat plant stuff if it falls inside them.
of trees and can reach 20 meters high in their natural environment.
Here
They
you go.
are
Is it
passive
AI
trap
generated photo? This is
carnivores because
Photoshop
the plant
or
does not take
AI.
any.
I don't know which one it is, but it's probably AI. But this is not possible. First of all, they don't get large enough to eat monkeys. Second of all, this is it's so obviously fake. Like, it's AI generated or something. But, like, they're not large enough to eat monkeys. In fact, they're actually called monkey cup pitchers sometimes because monkeys will drink from them. Not because they eat monkeys. They cannot eat monkeys. This is ridiculous. This is like saying it could eat a human child. It's ridiculous.
Mechanical action to capture its prey. Small animals or insects
Yes,
are attracted by the
insects.
smell of
Birds and rodents, not monkeys.
Nepenthes urns. They fall inside because their walls are very
And
slippery.
also because some pitcher plants have downward facing hairs.
They're digested by digestive juices.
Why do you
Yum.
sound so excited
It's
about
the
that?
only carnivorous plant inside which skeletons
Also,
of small
you
rodents
just
or
showed
baby birds
a-
are very slippery. Then
Yeah,
they're
that's an
digested by
Nepenthes.
digestive juices. Yum.
Now you're showing a
It's the-
Sarracenia, which is a completely different genus or family group. I'm not sure which. Showing a completely different group of plant right now. Sarracenia.
only carnivorous plant inside which skeletons of small rodents or baby birds have been found. Oh, some species of carnivorous plants in the Nepenthes
The
family
one you
have
just showed where the guy was walking under it is a species specifically designed to eat shrew feces, not the shrew itself.
evolved to feed on animal
Yes,
feces
there you go.
rather
Evolved
than
to feed on animal feces.
insects. This tactic is particularly useful for plants growing in high altitude
Yeah, so
tropical regions.
some specialize in eating animal feces, some specialize in eating animals themselves.
Where insect prey is rare. Number 19,
A-
Venus
Nepenthes can eat a lot more prey than a Venus flytrap, but let's hear them out, I guess.
flytrap. The Venus flytrap, or Dionea muscipula, is undoubtedly one of the most famous carnivorous plants due to its strangeness and specificities. That's right, this plant has a super strange jaw-like trap which closes very
You don't
quickly on
need.
its prey.
Okay, here's the photoshopped image again. I was gonna say you don't need to specify that they close their mouth, they close their leaves fast on their prey, like for your toddler audience who thinks that this is a real photograph. When I've literally seen the original photograph of the plant, there is no rat inside it. This is photoshopped or mouse. I think it's a rat.
It's part of the category of
Look, you can literally
active
see like a
trap
black hole under the rat. This is so fake.
plants.
This clip is from like a BBC documentary where they added I think they added sounds over the flies to make it seem sad, but
This plant is native to North America, North and
Correct.
South Carolina, growing spontaneously in marshy areas or peat bogs. The Venus flytrap is a very particular herbaceous perennial plant. It resembles a massive mouth. It has
why did you
petioles
show
at
a
their ends
reverse video of it eating? Okay.
with two articulated lobes similar to a jaw, provided with flexible spines which look like teeth. The inner surface of its two lobes is red. It closes onto its prey, which are usually insects, by closing itself
Again,
like a
you
mouth.
don't need to point that out to your toddler audience. If anyone who I guess well, he's not incorrect, but like Harris, for example, points out that they're stating the obvious.
Meat. They're pretty dangerous.
They are
since
not
they could literally
dangerous. They are 100% harmless to humans. It is more dangerous. A rose thorn is more dangerous than a Venus flytrap. Come on, guys.
close themselves on the tip of a finger.
It cannot hurt your finger. If you put your finger or even your tongue in a Venus flytrap, it will not hurt you. It's harmless.
Halloween season coming up. If you want to scare someone off, get them a
A
Venus.
Venus
flytrap.
flytrap is a very wonderful plant. It is not scary to humans. It is harmless.
Number 18, California
Okay,
pitch.
so a Cobra Lily eats even less variety of prey, from what I know. So you're going backwards. Cobra Lily has less stuff it can eat than a Venus flytrap, so you're going backwards.
Plant or
I could be
Cobra
wrong.
Lily. The
I'm not
California
sure how big Cobra Lilies get, so I could be wrong, but the Nepenthes should be higher anyways.
pitcher plant, also known as the Cobra
The
Lily or
Nepenthes are
the
tropical
Cobra
pitcher
plant,
plants. Those should have been higher. I don't know why I put them in number 20. That's ridiculous.
rises like a snake attacking its prey. It's native to wetlands of Northern California and is not found
Tell
anywhere
by the
else.
name, California pitcher plant.
Cobra Lily measures approximately 90 centimeters. Its shape is very characteristic. Its leaves rise in rigid cones, ending in a double-lobed cap. This gives it the appearance of a cobra in attack or intimidation position. Under the lobes are two large leaves that unfold like wings, or rather, like whiskers, as botanists describe them.
I've never heard
Rich in
anyone call
nectar-
them whiskers. I've heard people call it like a snake tongue, but like whiskers is fine, I guess.
Glands, these whiskers attract insects. They enter the urn
I've
under
also
the
never
hood of the
heard
plant.
anyone call these
Then they
ferns, but it's also not wrong. It's an interesting description.
slide to the bottom and cannot come back up. As they are attracted by the light, these unwary insects try to escape and exhaust themselves. Once they fall the bottom of the urn for good, they are entirely digested by the plant. Number 17,
Okay.
Sarracenia
So-
purpurea.
Number 20 being the Nepenthes. Those should have been higher. You got Venus flytrap. He said they can hurt people, which is not true. Then you have Cobra Lily, and they have Cobra Lily, and now you have purple pitcher plant, which this plant is actually native to a lot of cold regions in the United States, and I think Canada as well. So this plant is not dangerous at all. It eats like insects, frogs, and salamanders, spiders, stuff like that. This, if we were to talk about dangerous to other animals, this could probably actually be pretty high up. I'd probably put this in like, it's gonna be pretty high up, honestly. The Nepenthes would be number 1 though, because they can eat rats, but this would be pretty high up too, because they are really lethal to salamanders.
Or the purple pitcher plant.
But again,
purple
these are
pitcher,
harmless to people,
also known-
so we're going off how dangerous they are to other animals, unlike this Americano person who thinks they're dangerous to people, which is ridiculous.
As the Sarracenia
Sarracenia.
purpurea
Or is it Sarracenia? I don't know.
is a carnivorous herbaceous plant with red foliage in the shape of a funnel-shaped foliage that
A
traps insects
funnel-shaped
that
foliage.
dare to
Okay.
venture there. Northern America. The leaves are remarkably colorful. Roses, when they are young, then go from green to purple, depending on the temperature and the amount of sunshine. In wetlands, the feet can reach 1 meter wide.
Did you just say the
These leaves
feet
are modified
of the plant? What is that supposed to mean?
into a cone or hollow tube shape and are called ascidians.
That is not a purple pitcher plant. That is a different kind of Sarracenia. How do you mess up this badly?
Narrow at the base, they quickly swell to a height of 15 centimeters and end with a colored cover. They form the plant's insect traps. They fill with rainwater and the plant secretes digestive
Yes,
juices.
now you're showing a different pitcher plant again, which is incorrect. That is a different kind of pitcher plant.
Like other Sarracenias, the purple pitcher plant does not close the ascidians with its operculum. These, very full, rest on the substrate, which gives a prostrate appearance to the plant. At the top of the leaf, the peristome serves as a landing zone for insects, which are by the color of the leaves as well as the smell of the nectar glands. Once an insect lands on this plant, it slides towards the bottom of the urn, which is coated with mucus and downward-facing hairs. The digested insect serves as fertilizer. Number 16, Drosera
Okay, so this is a sundew. Sundews would also probably be pretty high up, honestly. But number 16, I don't know what he's going to come up with. I don't know what he's going to do.
Drosera capensis is a plant in the Droseraceae family. It is a carnivorous plant from that it is native to the swamps of South Africa. They produce their own glue to catch small flying insects. It grows in full light or partial shade. Despite its delicate and refined form, it is a massive predator which never lets insects escape.
Never
when
is
they
technically incorrect. If prey can theoretically escape, like you see, let's say, I don't know, the leaf is fairly small compared to some other plants. Let's say a massive beetle walked on it, it would probably walk off without an issue. But a lot of small beetles probably would get eaten.
Around its sticky leaves, which is the
But it is
specific
not
characteristic
foolproof. Some
to
stuff
the
can still
Drosera
escape.
genus. The leaves are linear and are 8 millimeters wide. They are covered with translucent glandular hairs which secrete
So I will
sticky
say that
mucilage.
these are not as... So far, there are some paleontology videos which are worse than these, but this is still flawed. The fact he's suggesting these are dangerous is completely wrong.
It's glue. Each adult plant produces from May to October stalks that can reach 25 centimeters. Each of these flower stalks bears up to 20 super tiny.
Those are not flower stalks. Those are leaves for trapping insects.
Red flowers.
Those are not
of approximately
flowers. My God, I said that these weren't as bad, but now it's getting worse. They're not flowers. They're little tendrils. This plant has separate flowers. It has flowers away from the trap so the pollinators don't get eaten. Those are not flowers, bro. You just keep getting worse. This is becoming a pretty bad video now.
Meters in diameter, which gradually open. The
Stop
flowers
calling
are
the leaves flowers, for Christ's sake.
They release dozens of fine black seeds, which can be sown in spring. Nature is honestly amazing, isn't it? Number 15.
Or were they talking about
Heliamphora.
the actual flowers, but just kept showing the leaves to confuse people?
Seeds. Each adult plant produces from May to October stalks that can reach 25 centimeters. Each of these flower stalks bears up to 20
I don't know if they're
super
talking about the leaves or the actual flowers because they just keep showing leaves,
seeds, which can be
not
sown in
very...
spring. Nature is honestly amazing, isn't it? Number 15.
Okay, so a
Heliamphora.
Heliamphora. A lot of these are not higher than the tropical pitcher plant. I don't know why you put that in last place. That's ridiculous. Tropical pitcher plant is the largest carnivorous plant. It can eat rats and stuff, so Heliamphora, a rat would trample it.
Heliamphora plants belong to the Saracinaceae family and are native to the highlands of Central America.
Or how do you say that? I don't think that's a good pronunciation.
Isn't it? Number 15.
How do you say that?
Heliamphora. Heliamphora plants belong to the Saracinaceae family.
Does he mean Sarracenia or something else? I'm not 100. I do know a lot about these plants, but I don't know everything. So it could be wrong. I don't know if he's talking about Sarracenia or something else.
And are native to the highlands of Central America. These high plateaus, called tepuis, with an altitude between 600 and 3,000 meters, have a very specific climate. Out here, it's cool and humid, which is different from the tropical climate that is usually found in this region.
On Earth, 7 seas, 7 continents, 196.
So you can see that some of these can get decently large, however, not as large as a tropical pitcher plant. I don't know why this is so far above it. A rat would trample it.
Heliamphora develops very delicate horn-shaped leaves.
Why is this above the tropical pitcher plant? Tropical pitcher plant should be number 1 because it can eat rats and birds. This is not as powerful.
Which are called ascidians. Its traps look like a rolled up and welded sheet. The top of the leaf is extended by a cover, which is the nectar spoon. Unlike Sarracenia, the Heliamphora leaf
Didn't you try to call it a Sarracenia earlier, but with a weird pronunciation? Or is it... Because didn't he try to call it a Sarracenia earlier, but with a wrong pronunciation? Or is it in it, or a different group that I'm unaware of? I'm not sure.
Have a hat, letting its traps to get filled with rainwater and keeping only the quantity necessary to capture its prey. The size of Heliamphora varies depending on the variety, from around 10 centimeters to 40 centimeters. Heliamphora are very slow-growing plants. They usually produce 4 to 5 leaves per year. Heliamphora offers one of the most beautiful flowers in the carnivorous plant
you're
family,
showing the leaves.
thanks to a fairly bright coloring on the top of the trap and its nectar spoon. The Heliamphora attracts its prey.
You're talking about the leaves, not the flowers.
Olfactorily and visually. Like Sarracenia, the nectar will stun the insect which ends up falling into the urn
They stun
and
it
drowns.
by getting the insect drunk, and then it gets paralyzed somewhat.
However, unlike other carnivorous plants, the Heliamphora does not have digestive glands. The digestion is being done by larvae and bacteria present in the water of the trap. Fun. Number 14,
How is this
Pinguicula.
above all the other things? This plant eats like ants and stuff. It cannot even catch a bird or a rodent. What are you talking about? This thing only eats like insects and arachnids. From what I know, I do not think it's capable of catching a rodent, except maybe like a pinky mouse. You see, it's like insects, all insects on it. If a rat were to get on this, or a bird, it could easily get off.
Are also glue plants, of which the genus has around 100 varieties. Discovered in the Middle Ages, it is mainly present in America, North, Central, or South, and in Europe. Depending on the variety, it is found on poor and humid soils, mainly on rock and sometimes in wetlands. It can grow up to altitudes of 3,000 meters. Pinguicula are often classified by geographical origin, Europe, Mexico, USA, or other. Because the cultivation principles are not similar depending on their location, this plant grows in the shape of a rosette, and its leaves can be rounded or oblong. The smallest varieties measure 2 or 3 centimeters in diameter. How small? While the largest can reach more than 20 centimeters.
I'm pretty sure a rat would have no problem walking over that. Unlike a tropical pitcher plant, which would eat a rat which would easily eat a rat. Well, maybe not easily, but it would at least be able to eat a rat. This wouldn't.
A glandular upper surface which produces a glue that attracts and captures insects. The Pinguicula has a small root system of a few centimeters. Except for the ones that are found in America, Pinguicula have the particularity of presenting different foliage between the season. European Pinguicula hide during the winter. They disappear below the surface to protect themselves from the cold, then they wake up in the spring. Mexican Pinguicula form smaller, non-carnivorous leaves in winter, which return to their size and predatory function in spring. The flowering of Pinguicula is quite marvelous. From red to blue, including white and purple, the flowers offer a range.
Oh my god, you're talking about the flowers, but you're showing the leaves. Right? I think those are the leaves. Yeah, those are the leaves. And you're talking about the flowers.
Amazing colors. Made up of
now
5
you're showing
petals
the flowers and leaves.
And a spur. They measure a few centimeters. The Pinguicula's trap is visual and olfactory. Its leaves sparkle, and it also gives off a
now you're
fungal
showing
odor.
The flower when you're trying to talk about the leaves.
Not felt by humans, which attracts insects. Once placed on a leaf, the insect becomes stuck and then digested. Although this genus does not seem aggressive, it nevertheless captures tons of insects. Number 13,
you're getting
Genlisea.
even less dangerous, bro. This thing eats like microorganisms. This thing eats like some of the smallest creatures imaginable. You're getting so ridiculously off course, bro. How, this is not more dangerous than a pitcher plant, bro. This thing eats like microorganisms. Dude, you're doing horrible if you're like the order.
Genlisea is one of the rarest and least known carnivorous plants. It is also one of the most unique as it uses an interesting trap system. It is actually called the corkscrew plant.
Look how small those microorganisms are. It is not more dangerous than a tropical pitcher plant or Venus flytrap or whatever.
Remarkably shaped creel trap that consists of transformed underground leaves sinking into liquid mud or shallow water. The Genlisea has small stems whose ends separate in a Y. The prey is guided by the plant towards the arms of the trap, which are very thin, hollow, and twisted like a corkscrew. The tiny hairs make escape impossible and guide the prey towards the center of the plant where it is digested by enzymes.
I'd say impossible. I don't know much about corkscrew plants though, but I'm sure if something's large enough or it might be able to escape.
Genlisea grows small, white to mauve flowers which resemble orchid flowers.
The other plant again? On the left, is that the one that I was complaining about earlier? Forgot the name. The one that was You kept showing the flower instead of whatever. The frickin' that one is. Are you showing that one instead for some reason? It looks like you were showing that.
Environments in intertropical zones with hot belonging to the Lentiaceae is guided by the plant toward
Like,
it is
look.
digested by enzymes.
That's what it looks like over there on the
Genlisea
left.
grows small white to mauve flowers which resemble orchid flowers. Genlisea is a genus of
Like a
carnivorous
rainbow.
plants belonging to the Lentibulariaceae family. They are only found in very humid areas. These plants are terrestrial and also semi-aquatic. The different Genlisea are found in marshy environments in intertropical zones with hot and humid climates. Genlisea grows in Central and South America,
that looks
in
like
the Caribbean,
it's the butterwort.
in
Butterwort is what
Africa
it's
near the
called.
equator, on the southeast coast of Madagascar. It was first discovered in Brazil, in the Bahia region, by the French botanist Auguste Saint-Hilaire around 1830. He published
And
a
look
complete
how
description
tiny
in
those
1833.
microorganisms are. This is like insane.
The name of the plant was chosen in honor of his friend Félicité of Saint-Aubin, Countess of Genlis. Unlike the majority of carnivorous plants, Genlisea feed on protozoa. These are very small, generally unicellular organisms that live in water or very
So
humid
how is that
environments.
more dangerous
It
than
is
something which can eat a rat?
by generating a permanent flow of water that it manages to guide the protozoa towards the filaments of the trap. From the outside, we generally only see the leaves of the plant and the flowers, depending on the season. Number 12, Utricularia, or
Again,
bladderwort.
this plant eats tiny things. This one can at least eat things like tadpoles, though, so it makes sense it's higher than the last one.
Utricularia is a genus of carnivorous plants that is better known for its aquatic species. It is interesting to cultivate. Its
See, it
brightly
can eat
colored
tadpoles,
flowers
which is
attract
more dangerous, it's more dangerous than the last one.
tiny insects. The genus Utricularia belongs to the Lentibulariaceae family. Native to warm countries, it is also called bladderwort. This carnivorous plant has no roots. It has so-called classic leaves, which ensure photosynthesis, and other super tiny leaves that are usually underground or underwater. These leaves capture insects by sucking them in. Scary, right?
You didn't need to add the music for dramatic effect.
Plant takes its name from these tiny little leaves that look like utricles, which comes from the Latin word utriculus, meaning small wineskin, a container generally made of leather intended to contain a liquid such as wine. Okay, these leaves are real traps which close with a flap and open on contact with sensitive hairs located around the flap. The bladderwort is very flowery. It grows very pretty flowers that can be yellow, white, pink, red-brown, or purple,
At
depending on
least
the
you were
season,
actually
as
showing
these
flowers that time.
flowers grow throughout the year. Number 11, Aldrovanda.
What? Okay, I don't know if I've heard of this one. Actually, no, I do know this
Aldrovanda
one, yeah.
vesicularia.
It's an underwater snap trap, which, again, it's probably about as dangerous as the last one, if I were to guess.
Genlisea is a species of carnivorous freshwater plant that carries some sort of small bladder-like structures
What
all
do you
around
mean,
itself.
some sort of
These little
small bladder-like structure? What do you don't have to say some sort of.
bladders enable the plant to float. They're like buoys. Pretty handy since Aldrovanda plants are aquatic. These buoys also consist of traps. That's right, they capture planktonic crustaceans, which they mainly feed upon. It multiplies only vegetatively and hibernates during winter. This odd-looking plant is mostly located in moors and wetlands around Eastern Asia, India,
At least they
Australia,
aren't doing the paleontology video route where they call them monstrous or demonic, which is what paleo videos do, which at least this one isn't.
and Europe. The Aldrovanda is a rootless plant that is also reminiscent of a small bladderwort. Its stems
It's
are
like a
15
cross
to
between a
25
bladderwort and a Venus flytrap.
centimeters long, with short internodes bearing whorls of 6 to 9 swollen, skin-shaped leaves
What do
attached
you
to
mean,
a triangular structure
skin-shaped leaf? Skin-shaped. What is that supposed to mean, bro?
5 to 9 millimeters long, and that ends in 5 denticulate bristles. The Aldrovanda has rounded, spiny leaves made up of 2 articulated parts, which close super fast. In less than 0.2 seconds, The leaves can capture any prey that ventures into them.
If you were to put a human finger into it, it would not be able to capture that.
Sometimes form small, white,
so imagine
and green
a frog going up to it and putting its hand in there. It will be fine.
flowers.
If it's like an
Number
adult
10,
frog or something. Now you're showing another sundew.
Drosophyllum. Drosophyllum is native to the extreme
Similar
southwest of Europe. It's found in the south of Portugal, the southwest of Spain, as well as at the northern tip of Morocco. Drosophyllum grows equally well on sandy soils of coastal pine forests and on acidic rocky soils with strong exposure to sunlight. It needs a Mediterranean climate. Drosophyllum is a semi-woody perennial plant that can reach 60 centimeters in height and sometimes 1 meter high. It is an
either
erect
a sundew
and
or
branched
something similar.
plant.
I'm not sure if it's actually a sundew, but it's similar.
This bushy plant has very fine filiform leaves. Each leaf is covered with pedicellate glands producing glue and sessile glands on the surface used for digestion. What's quite interesting is that the withered leaves remain attached to the plant.
That is not too interesting, considering a lot of carnivorous plants will hold on to their leaves for some time. Actually, I think a lot of non-carnivorous plants do that too. A lot of plants will hold on to their leaves for a while before they come off, so that's not really surprising.
Strongly reflect ultraviolet rays and therefore attract prey. A strong smell of honey escapes from the plant. Thanks to their glue-producing glands, the leaves capture
Officer, we need your help with a dire situation in the neutral zone.
insects. This plant also grows flowers that are quite tiny compared to the size of the stems. That's right, they usually have a diameter of 4 centimeters. These flowers are yellow.
I don't know what you're talking about. The flowers look a lot bigger than the stems.
A panicle. Number 9, Cephalotus follicularis, the Albany
this is
pitcher
another
plant.
pitcher plant, which is not as dangerous as the tropical one in number 20. This is so out of order.
Cephalotus follicularis.
The only thing that can justify it is those fang-like protrusions on the rim, but a lot of tropical pitcher plants have those too, so not really.
Banyan water pitcher is a perennial carnivorous plant belonging to the Cephalotaceae family. It's also the only representative species of this family. It's native to the extreme southwest of Australia, very localized on the coast, in wetlands, or on sandy, flowering embankments facing the sea. The Cephalotus is a miniature carnivorous plant whose traps are reminiscent of those of Nepenthes.
Yes, Nepenthes from number 20, but these are less dangerous.
A rather Mediterranean
Nepenthes
climate.
should have been number 1 because they eat rats and birds, and you acknowledged that they eat rat and bird. Yet you put a corkscrew plant which eats single-celled organisms above it. Crazy.
Is, however, not the easiest to cultivate, particularly in terms of watering management.
So look at that size. That is not going to eat a rat or bird. Less dangerous than the Nepenthes if we're doing how dangerous they are to other animals.
Cephalotus follicularis forms a prostrate basal rosette, comprising ordinary leaves and urn leaves.
So, okay. I don't know why I paused that.
All 6 to 10 centimeters wide. It eventually develops a rhizome bearing small colonies of closely spaced rosettes. Its non-carnivorous leaves develop first in spring, lanceolate, light green, and hairy. They are renewed every year. The trap leaves follow towards the end of spring. The trap is in the shape of a pot-bellied skin placed on the ground.
That frog is a small, I think, poison dart frog. I could be wrong, but that is a small frog, not a rat-sized frog, which a tropical pitcher plant could eat.
They are lined with 3 hairy wings. Green to dark red, the urn,
I've
measuring 2 to 4
never heard
centimeters.
anyone call them urns. It's a very interesting way to call them, and I'm not complaining.
Rarely 6 centimeters, stands upright, topped with a red and green striped hat. The urn contains a solution of digestive enzymes. Insects attracted by the colors and the nectar glands slide inside without any chance of getting out.
Again, I wouldn't say without any chance. Sometimes things can escape. Again, if like a big bug gets in there, like a massive cricket, and it can probably get out easier than a small ant. Because
they provide
bigger and can get more grip, I think, So imagine if you see this and a tiny insect falls in it. It's going to have a lot of a harder time getting out than a massive cricket, which is maybe around the same size as a pitcher. If it's a really big one, maybe not cricket, like beetle, I don't know. If there's an insect that's around the same size as the trap and it goes in, it can probably get out without as much of an issue.
Organic matter, which the Cephalotus' living
yeah.
environment is devoid of. The small flowers with a thick, whitish, star-shaped
You
calyx.
see how the flowers are positioned away from the traps. So it doesn't really justify you with the sundew showing leaves instead of flowers when you're talking about the flowers. Like,
On a tall
imagine
stem.
talking about the flowers of a plant but showing its leaves instead. It's not that hard.
They are self-fertile and each produce about 1 to 12 seeds. The roots of the Cephalotus are thin and fragile. Number 8, pink lady slipper.
Okay, I could be wrong, but I don't even think this is a carnivorous plant. There are no carnivorous plants that eat with their flowers. Pretty sure this is just another flowering plant carnivorous plants have flowers, but they don't eat with them. So I'm pretty sure what you're showing here is just a oddly shaped flower. It's not carnivorous.
Or moccasin flower. When you hear the word orchid, you may automatically
Orchids
think of
are
some
not carnivorous plants.
bizarre or fantastically
That is
colored
a flower,
from
not a meat-eating leaf. Carnivorous plants only eat with their leaves.
tropical jungle. But not all orchids come from tropical climates. The pink lady slipper, also known as the moccasin flower, may look delicate, but it actually is a hardy plant that can withstand the cold winters of Canada. That's right, The moccasin flower can be found in southern Quebec.
Yes,
and
that's
central
interesting.
Canada.
An orchid or whatever is growing in Canada, but it's not carnivorous.
The species grows flowers from April to July. The flower has
Yes,
only
but
3
it's
petals.
not fucking carnivorous.
2 of them are curved on each side, while the third one, which is much larger, is on top of the flower. It has the shape of a shoe.
You're not even explaining how it eats because it can't.
The arrangement of the flower parts makes self-pollination very difficult. Plant therefore needs help to be fertilized.
The bugs go in there to pollinate, not to be eaten.
This help comes from insects, and in particular, from bees,
So
which
you're
are very
basically just
attracted
talking about flowering plants in general.
to the flower. The edge of the flower is turned inwards so that the pollinating insects that wander within its petals cannot come out
Yes,
easily.
this is a strategy used by orchids to make sure that they get more pollen attached to them. It's not carnivory.
They have to pass under the stigma of the flower, and this is when they deposit
Yes,
pollen
this is
from
used
other
to
flowers.
have them pollinate more effectively, not to be eaten.
This plant is quite rare, as the germination of its seeds requires the presence of a particular fungus in the soil.
So you
Number 7.
casually slipped a non-carnivorous plant into the list. Actually insane.
Trifilum. Trifilum is a species of tropical carnivorous plant found in West and Central Africa. This plant can measure 60 centimeters in length and even has a twisted stem at the top. This stem actually allows it to cling on other plants. There are
I don't
3
know
types
if I
of leaves in
recognize this plant, so I don't really know if I can comment on it.
species. The leaves on long branches can reach
But this
20
just
centimeters
looks
long
like
and 3
a-
centimeters wide.
But it does not look carnivorous. I could be wrong.
They are oblong in shape and are thin towards the stem. They are recognized by the presence of 2 hooks, probably used to cling onto neighboring plants. The leaves of short branches are also oblong and rounded,
This looks
but
like
are
a-
much longer.
More like a cactus or succulent, not a carnivorous plant. I don't know. This doesn't look carnivorous. I know carnivorous plants. It looks like a succulent
They
or
can reach-
cactus or whatever you call them.
30 centimeters long and 6 centimeters wide. The leaves of the sterile twigs are atrophied. In fact, the leaf blade disappears and there is only the central vein. It is on this super stringy leaf that one can find the digestive glands, giving the carnivorous
There you
character
go.
of
So
the
maybe
plant.
it is carnivorous. I'm going to assume probably is only mildly carnivorous.
These thin leaves, or stems, are covered with glands that produce a sort of
So
glue.
this I can believe. Unlike the one where you showed an orchid, which is non-carnivorous, and that's bullshit, this one I can believe.
Because of their stickiness, these stems capture insects and are therefore the carnivorous part of the plant. That's right. The insects are attracted by the liquid that the plant produces and that looks like some sort of nectar.
Why are you
insects are
surprised? That's what the other ones did.
digested by the plant. Trifilum can grow flowers that are usually white and orange. They're all composed of 5 sepals, 5 petals, 10 stamens, and 1 ovary, meaning they're basically bisexual and can ensure their reproduction easily.
Calling a plant
These flowers can
bisexual
also
is funnier than it should be. What was his reasoning?
grow fruit in 1 ovary, meaning they're
Do you
basically
mean... So a bisexual plant means it's a gay plant. Do you mean it's
orange. They're
by gender?
all composed of 5 sepals, 5 petals, 10
So are you saying it has male and female parts? That means it's male and female. I don't know.
stamens,
I am not
and 1 ovary,
educated on the
meaning
LGBTQ rights of plants.
they're basically bisexual and can ensure their reproduction easily. These flowers can also grow fruits that expel their seeds before being mature. The seeds are flat, disc-shaped, and can reach 6 to 12 centimeters in diameter. The embryo is very small, and the rest of the seed consists of a thin wing used to hover during expulsion. Number 6,
an actual
Sarracenia.
dangerous to animals, not humans, carnivorous plants. This one is justified to be high on the list. Shouldn't be as it should. Tropical pitcher plants should still be higher, but this is justified being relatively high on the list because it eats frogs and bugs and stuff.
Sarracenia flava, known as the yellow pitcher plant, is a carnivorous plant native to the southeastern United States. The plant has yellow tubular leaves that form a
Yes,
sort
you
of
don't need
pitcher.
to point out that it's yellow when you could tell it's yellow when it's in the name.
And guess what? This pitcher is actually a trap.
Yeah, we
used
would
by the
never have guessed that this leaf is a trap. It's very obvious, bud.
plants to capture insects.
Yeah, it's...
Sarracenia flava mainly grow in wetlands, which are
Sarracenia?
pitcher.
It's
actually a trap
Sarracenia. Sarracenia.
used by the plants to capture insects.
How the hell do you pronounce it?
Sarracenia.
Sarracenia. Sarracenia. That's an insane pronunciation, bro.
Flava mainly grow in wetlands, which are often lacking nutrients. This is why the plant has developed over time and become carnivorous. It feeds on insects to meet its nutrient needs like nitrogen and phosphorus. The plant produces sweet nectar that emits a
See, this
certain
is an
scent.
example of how not all insects that get trapped are eaten. You can see some insects can eat their way out.
Attract its prey. The interior of the plant is lined with hairs that prevent insects
It's also
from
waxy,
escaping.
which makes it slippery.
Once an insect falls into the trap, it's completely digested by the plant. This species is often yellow, but can actually be of various colors, like red, orange, and green. It grows colorful flowers that also attract insects.
Again,
Number-
showed a leaf, but talked about the flower. See?
Like red, orange, and green. It grows colorful flowers
Yes, you're talking
that
about
also
flower, but you're
attract
showing the leaves. Come on.
insects. Number 5, Nepenthes
Okay, this is
attenboroughi.
very interesting. So he's going back to the Nepenthes. So Nepenthes attenboroughi is one of the largest Nepenthes. I think it's either an attenboroughi or Raja that is the largest. So this is justified being up high, but why is it separated from every other pitcher plant? I mean, every other Nepenthes. Why is it separated?
Nepenthes attenboroughi is a
Attenboroughi.
species of pitcher
Isn't it Attenboroughi, like David Attenborough?
plant which is native to the highlands of the Palawan region, located in the Philippines. They are known for their super large bell-shaped pitchers. This carnivorous plant was discovered in 2007 and was named after the famous British biologist David Attenborough.
Yes, you pronounce
in
it differently when you say his name. So why are you pronouncing it a different way when saying the plant name?
Reaching 150 centimeters high, it is one of the largest species of its genus.
Correct, and now you're showing a completely different species of Nepenthes. This is not a Nepenthes attenboroughi, this is something else.
Its urn, or pitcher, can have a diameter of 30 centimeters. Nepenthes attenboroughi
See, now you're saying
is
boroughi.
usually found in mountain
Where is the consistency?
forests, which are 1,600 meters above sea level. Since its habitat is quite poor in nutrients, it uses large pitchers to trap
See, you're
and
showing
digest
our
insects.
Ambrui or whatever on the right. Now you're showing a different species on the left.
Much like the yellow pitcher plant.
And you're
the
showing a
Nepenthes
different species
attenboroughi
again.
secretes a liquid that attracts its prey.
Again, a
Once
different
the prey
species.
is inside that slippery pitcher, it is almost impossible for it to escape. Unfortunately, due to its restricted distribution and the specificity of its habitat, this plant is now classified as critically endangered. Number 4, Brocchinia reducta.
How is that more dangerous than something that's big enough to eat a rat?
Brocchinia
You
reducta
can
is a
see
species
the space for an animal to fit in is not as big as the last emission.
of tropical carnivorous plant that are part of the Bromelaceae family. The species is usually found in humid areas and particularly in the jungles of Venezuela, as well as in the high moors and plateaus of Guyana. The plant is 50 centimeters high, and the flower stalk can be 60 to 70 centimeters high. This species grow white flowers that are 5
Again, he's talking about the flowers, but showing the leaves.
millimeters in diameter, which is quite disproportionate compared to the size of the plant.
Probably be more effective if you showed how big the flowers are instead of describing it. And showing the leaves.
Brocchinia reducta also have narrow leaves, which are either green or yellow. They form a tubular horn which collects the water where insects
So you're saying the plant has a horn.
drown. Among the species of the genus Brocchinia, only 2 species, which are called Brocchinia reducta and Brocchinia hectioides, are considered to be carnivorous because they have specific bacteria that can digest insects. These plants absorb their prey through small glandular hairs called trichomes.
Correct me if
Number
I'm wrong,
3.
but wouldn't the hairs be used to trap and not actually digest? And this is
Drosera
another sundew.
Benata. The Drosera benata is a very particular species
So, in order to actually get enough submissions for the list, you just keep taking different sundews and putting them in, right?
of carnivorous plant due to its general appearance. This plant can reach up to 40 centimeters in length, but the most impressive thing about it is
You see
its
how
leaves.
non-dangerous this is to humans. They're touching it with no problem.
They literally look like small, delicate branches and form a Y. These forked leaves unfold very elegantly during springtime, like the tops of a fern. But don't get fooled, because this is where the plant traps its prey.
Yes, but it's harmless to humans. And also,
That's right.
this couldn't even catch a bird or rat, so this shouldn't be higher than the pitcher plant.
This is the part of the plant. It's carnivorous, as it produces sticky mucus glands that catch insects. The trapped insects are most often
Yes,
small flies.
small flies.
This
The tropical pitcher plant should be much higher. Even the yellow pitcher plant and purple pitcher plant should be higher.
carnivorous plant is native to Oceania, Australia, and New Zealand. The flower stalk exceeds 50
Flower
centimeters in
stalk.
height and grows
And you're
pretty white
showing... Actually, you're showing both, I think, so that's acceptable.
flowers. This carnivorous plant has the particularity of going dormant at
Yes,
the end of summer.
Venus flytraps, purple pitcher plants, and others also go dormant. Why are you only mentioning it now?
From September to March, a simple bud remains on the surface. Number 2,
Okay, so
Sarracenia.
this should not be higher. This thing eats like small insects. So this also should not be above the, this should be lower. This should be not above the purple pitcher plant, yellow pitcher plant, the Nepenthes. This should be lower on the list than them. The fact this is
Cetacina.
number 2 is actually crazy. That's ridiculous.
Sarracenia psittacina is a plant that lives in temperate climates. It resides in areas generally
Actually
prone to
insane that
flooding
This is number
and is
2.
mostly
It's actually ridiculous.
found in Georgia, Florida, southern Mississippi,
Why are you
and
showing a
eastern
random bird? Are you trying to imply that it eats birds?
Louisiana in moist forests
eat
or
birds,
along
though.
the edges of ponds and streams. Sarracenia psittacina features rosettes of leaves attached to a short, trailing rhizome. The plant generally measures 20 to 25 centimeters in diameter and 10 centimeters in height. The leaves, or ascidians, are modified into a cone or hollow tube that ends into the shape of a parrot beak. This is why the plant is
Picture.
also known as the parrot pitcher plant.
And now you're showing a different species of Sarracenia. Great. And then there's Nepenthes in the background. There's no consistency. Except for the fact he likes to show leaves instead of flowers. But you can see different... You got Sarracenia, a different species of Sarracenia, and then Nepenthes. These are not what you're talking about.
Each mature cap is red in color and has white spots. These ascidians constitute the plant's insect traps. They fill with water, and this is how the plant secretes digestive juices. Yummy!
Why do you say it
Trap.
like that? Yummy.
Is made attractive by color of the leaves and the smell of the nectar glands. The opening of the trap is small, allowing the entry of small ants
Yes,
or
small
gnats.
ants. This is not more dangerous.
Due to its shape, this plant is specialized in trapping crawling insects. The insects slide into the tank thanks to the plant's hairs, which are contaminated with mucus and are oriented in such a way that they cannot escape. These pitcher plants thus acquire a source of nitrogen, which is essential to their growth. The digested insects serve as fertilizer. In its native environment, the plant is sometimes completely submerged underwater, trapping small aquatic prey like Daphnia or
Yes.
fry.
But this is not more dangerous than the tropical pitcher plant. Like, you said fry. Maybe like fish fry, you said? Still, like, that's not as dangerous as a freaking tropical pitcher plant.
Flower buds appear and develop in early spring. The purple flowers emerge above the leaves and can bloom later from April to May. These flowers are thick and shiny. They can remain above the plant for long periods of time. Number 1,
Okay,
Sarracenia.
so put another Sarracenia in number 1. This is actually... I was curious. Number 1 should be Nepenthes raja, which is the largest species of Nepenthes. So this is ridiculous. Sarracenia should be high up, but not number 1. This should be like number 3 or something. Number 1 should be Nepenthes raja, which is the largest species of carnivorous plant. It eats rats, birds, and feces and stuff, and insects. Basically, it eats whatever can fit. This is not as big. So this should not be number 1. This is ridiculous.
Leucophylla. Sarracenia leucophylla, also known as purple trumpet leaf, is a very beautiful species of carnivorous plants, which have very large urn-shaped flowers.
Those are not flowers,
soon as-
those are leaves. There is not justification there. You are talking about the traps. These are leaves, not flowers.
Autumn arrives, its brilliant green foliage reveals incredible flowers,
Stop
which are
talking about
distinguished
flowers and showing the leaves. I think he's trying to talk about the leaves, but he's calling them flowers for no reason.
by their shades of light green, purple, and white.
Yeah, this video is pretty awful.
Turned upwards, the urns automatically attract Asian hornets, which fall into the plant's nectar trap.
Not just Asian hornets, they eat other insects too.
They are then digested using enzymatic secretion. Once the plant is mature, the Sarracenia leucophylla can reach up to 1 meter in height. It forms a very imposing tuft. These plants are native to North America and are mostly found in low-nutrient wetlands in
Don't
Alabama,
think they live
Georgia,
in deserts like you just showed.
Louisiana, Mississippi, and North Carolina. Because the plant needs a very certain amount of humidity along with a specific temperature to grow properly, it is becoming rare, and this is why Sarracenia leucophylla is considered an endangered species on the IUCN Red
This
List
isn't the
of
rarest
threatened
one. This is the most dangerous. It shouldn't be number 1.
species. Which one
There you
of
go. You're
these
showing
carnivorous
that
plants
why that would have been an okay pick for number 1 because it's very large.
would you choose to cultivate if you had the chance to do so? Do you know of any
Oh
other
my
carnivorous?
God. What is that on the left? What? Why? How do they have 32 videos of this bullcrap? Is this an actual playlist just filled with this? No, okay. It's one video. And it's by a different channel. But oh my God, that stupid Photoshop thumbnail is horrible. Okay. We survived one monstrosity. This is pretty bad. Due to YouTube's rules, this is not hate. This is for educational purposes. But yeah. Then you got more clickbait. Great. But yeah, this is pretty bad. not very educational. Yes, this is very bad video. Hope you enjoyed.